was a hard one to follow, obviously. So
yeah, for real.
And I've been to a lot of talks, and Annalise was one of my favourite speakers. So I thought it'd be great to bring her down to Leicester. So thanks again, Annalise, for coming. It's much appreciated. So now we're into the final one of the day, which is me and Manish.
Yes.
So really, we should have gone on first, but VJ programmed it like this, so we do as we're told. So we thought we'd go on artist development and building your artistry. So obviously what we do here, and I never went into it much before, a lot of you will know about HQ, but obviously everything we do is about artist development, you know, and it's all come out of community music and community programs, but now it's obviously gone into industry and stuff as well. So obviously this building is where we do everything from, and a lot of the people who are connected have worked in here, and we're going to go into it. We'll go into it throughout the talk, but basically, obviously Manish is someone who's also come through here and been developed by myself and HQ over the last, 8-9 years, and he's become the protege, then building the next level of artists, you know, and then the people that he will develop will be developing the next load of people, which is what's quite important to us as well, you know, like, yeah, each one teach one, you know, and we pass that down, that positive way of working, that, you know, like, let's try and help people, let's build something, and, you know, like, really try and own it. So, yeah.
Just a bit about who we are. So, myself, I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. Yas has obviously raised me up pretty much from the ground up, from a bedroom producer. I came here with nothing, no streams, no kind of initial way to do business. Now I have my own record label, achieved probably over 20, 30 million streams with various artists. You know, I now sell beats for a living, I sell studio time for a living, so it's great. And then I've obviously, through Yasin, who's developed me, then taught me how to develop artists. So to bring artists from 0 streams to 1 million plus streams, to help them obviously define their brand, to know who they are, to know what music and what route they want to go down to, and obviously maximize most potential out of them as much as they can. Yeah, I've also got, my own record label. Obviously, I run the studio as well for Yasin, so yeah.
And then me, obviously, a lot of you know me already, but obviously, like this, it sounds impressive. Dr. Yas and Maniscooler, BEM. I've got all these like titles and crazy things and stuff. Community leader, winning awards and honours and all that kind of stuff. And that's obviously all come through HQ, but it definitely didn't start like that. You know, like I was born on a council estate, never had a dad. It was quite a rough upbringing. And when people speaking about imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff, I fully feel all of that. So when I first got into the industry, well, weren't in the industry, when I first got into community music, I was 29 when I came up with the idea, 30 when we got it started. And that was basically just going into a conservatory with a laptop and a couple of speakers with my friends who actually had musical talent. So I did a music project when I was a kid with Soft Touch, and we did DJ MC workshops. I was DJ Freak playing Gabba Techno back in them days. But I went down a different road. I went kind of down a long, dark road, and I ended up being a heroin addict and a crackhead for like 15 odd years. As I got a bit older, like, I met my ex-missus, she became pregnant, and all of a sudden, I don't want to live fast and die young anymore. Now I want to live forever. I want to be someone that my kids can be proud of, my family can be proud of. So, but when my son was born, he was born with a cord around his neck, so he's got severe cerebral palsy. I lost my job that I had at the time, looking after him. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to be a boss, I'm going to have to create my own job, my own career. Well, what do I like? Well, I like music. And when I went back to all my old people who was on the Soft Touch project with me, they were still in music, but now he's a sound engineer, he's a producer, got a sound system, they're doing parties, but I'm gonna lie, everyone's still broke, you know, like, and it's probably costing them more to DJ or to put these parties on than what they're getting back. So I'm like, well, maybe I can build a business around you lot, like Soft Touch, but do it for adults. So the people who are like me, who are still late 20s and lost, can still have a go at doing music. Music's expensive, isn't it? Studios and Macs and software, it's all ridiculous money. So I was like, well, let's do that. So I went to the council, I was like, I want to do this little project. They're like, sounds great. Like, we'll give you more money than you asked for, but we want you to do a teaching qualification. So we did it, and we did this project, and it was like, okay, that's great. So what's next? So we did the project, and then we'd always do a 6-7 week project, and then we'd do an event at the end of it. So now all of a sudden, like, but I used to think, I'm in music, but I'm not a musician. You know, I'm putting nights on, but I'm not a promoter. I've got no. Everyone's got more money. Everyone's got more. You know, everyone's got more. I suppose clout. Everyone's got more experience, more talent, and then it's like actually, you know, like it took years of doing things for that to start to dissipate. So then I ended up getting this place a year later. I then got the music cafe as well. So now got a studio and a nightclub, and I'm doing all these different things. And bit by bit, like the network's growing, the bits of confidence are growing, but it still took years and years, you know, like for that to completely go. But then in 2015, I sold the music cafe lease over to VJ because he really wanted to be a venue owner, and I didn't really. It was just something that I fell into, and I pissed it up the wall because I was giving everybody free entry. Everybody was getting pound drinks, and you know, like yeah, we had a lot of great parties there, but you know, like as a business, it weren't really a good thing, and it was 2 full-time jobs basically. So when the music cafe went, I started to realise actually some of this stuff here is sick, and I started paying more attention to what's going on in the studio, what's going on with the artists. So I was like, what's people doing? What you do with your music? Like, oh, well, I'm just going to put it on SoundCloud, or maybe I'll put it on YouTube. So I was like, we need to find a way to do something more with this. You know, like some of these people are sick. So I was like, okay, let's start a record label. And then started the record label. And again, we didn't have a clue. You know, I've not got any degrees. I was expelled from school. You know, like everything's just kind of test and learn and asking questions. You know, so. But again, you know, without knowing that, thinking, oh, I'm up against people who have studied and this and that, it's kind of easy to think that it's unattainable. But then I was seeing this music, I was like, well, let's just put it out. So we bought a record label in a box. I think it was a few £100. Put a record out, and it was like, we got interest from Sony, and all of a sudden we got A&Rs coming, and I was like, right, that's it, made it. You know, and then obviously those meetings and talks didn't necessarily turn into deals and stuff. And then the next thing did as well. And then it's kind of a bit like, oh. And I say that because I know a lot of you will release music and you'll be excited and you'll get gassed. And then if you don't get the numbers, it's a bit deflating. And it's the same.
It can put you off as well.
Yeah, it can put you off. And it was the same with, me. But
it's happened to a few of us, happens to me. I can understand that you put time and effort, hours in, pay money for studio, pay money for mixing and mastering, and you put your song out and it doesn't do anything. And there's much more to obviously than just putting your song out and sharing it on your story and saying my song's out. There's pushing your song, there's promoting it as much as you can. And obviously we'll get into that with obviously different kind of marketing techniques as well. But I feel like, once your song is out, you have to push it every day. One story is not enough. You have to be consistent with it. You find a random person you don't know who likes your music, or you know them, or you start a conversation with them, share your music with them. You might gain another fan, And another thing as well, try not to approach people with, yo, my new single's out, check it out now. Try, start a personal relationship with people. Try to start a message with, hey, what you saying? How you been? They might have their own things going on in their life. They don't want to be spammed with your music. So I think it's really important to also, when you're building your artistry, is kind of build repertoire, community, friendship with your fans as well. So yeah, I think, and then going back to obviously putting you off with your streams and making more music. Yeah, it's fully understandable.
But yeah, and there's no one way. Like with people, you can get tips and people can tell you all types of stuff, but at the end of the day, everybody is slightly different, and it's like people have said, you need a USP, you need something different, and also like people talk about stories a lot. I've had a lot of coverage and a lot of awards and stuff, but part of that is because of what I've done, and part of it is because I'm happy to share my story and different parts of it, and no one ever really gets the full story. There'll be certain bits that will fit whatever it is, do you know what I mean? So everybody will be, my relationship with Manish will be different to my relationship with Joey or someone else, and everybody's got, will get a different thing. And even publicly, like the more story, and if I'm going to share something, for instance, and I'm not an artist, I'll dabble in a bit of music here and there when I'm drunk, or when I've got something funny, like when I've got something specific to do, like my walkout song for my music or whatever. But that was me as well. Part of getting over my imposter syndrome was, well, if I'm going to try and tell artists to develop, and by developing artists, that's various things. That's vocal coaching, is working with producers, working with musicians, but it's also a mentor. It's about confidence, but it's also that thing about practice makes perfect, So I used to have, when I started my business and I first started having to go into places, I had really bad anxiety, And even this, like probably when I was 5, 6, 7 years in, I'd have been having a sleepless night about it. I'd have been going red, I'd have been sweating. And I used to hate going into kind of like busy places. So I'd always have to get there first and let it build up around me, or I wouldn't even go in there. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it, everything. So I decided I'm going to say yes to every interview, to every hosting request, to any photo shoot. But you know, like the reality of it is most people, like, I like my voice when I hear it. I hate my voice when I hear it played back. I like my face in the mirror. I don't necessarily like it in a photo, you know. And I know a lot of people have the same thing, and you'll be picking faults with yourself, where really it's not that deep. No one really cares that much, you know what I mean? And you kind of realize the more you do it, it just gets a bit easier every time. So like now I still get nervous about doing public speaking. I still get nervous about hosting on an event or going to collect an award or whatever, but it's gone from being unbearable to bearable to, oh, that's not that bad, to actually this is all right, you know. And however bad I think it's gone, other people generally think it's better than that, you know. Like I did a couple of things this week where I was presenting to 200 people and I've had hardly any sleep and I'm stressing about it a bit, but then I just get through it, you know. And it comes back to the authenticity thing, you know. If you keep it real and you're talking about something that you like and that you love, which should be you know, you should love yourself, you should love your brand, you should love your music, then it shouldn't be that thing. But it's why we always talk to people about open mic nights and stuff. Like, you need to be getting yourself, not do 1 or 2 performances and think you're going to be ready, you know. Like the people you're watching are going to perform hundreds, thousands of times, you know, to get to that level. So again, you're comparing yourself to people who have got years of experience, you know. So we always say, like, go to open mic, not just this one, go to every one in your city, then go to the next city, then the next city, you know. And if it takes potentially hundreds of times to become the best at it, you know, like, well, you need to be ticking them off, you know what I mean, and getting them down. And every time you're going to get a little bit better. And you could also do things like film yourself so that you can watch it back, you know, call it like mirror performances, you know, and you watch yourself back, get used to seeing yourself on film and, you know, kind of critiquing yourself. So we do it to each other as well. We have every stage we go on, but okay, well, that's great, but see how my guy like put his foot up and he filled more of the stage, see how he's got a bit more, you know, like eye contact with people and stuff like that. And some things is as basic as that, you know, like Manny says, like, don't just message people like yo. It's the same like when you meet someone for the first time, when you email someone for the first time, you always have to be professional. You know, you always have to show that you've done the research, you know, that, you know, like if you message me and you're like, yeah, listen to that, I'll be like, no chance. You know, if someone's like, yeah, like and share, like, no. Someone's, you know, but then when people are like, oh yeah, yes, love what you're doing with HQ, been following your stuff for a while, that last track with Manish and Wiz was sick, I'd love it if, I'd really appreciate a bit of feedback from you. Like, oh, you feel like a bit more inclined to want to give that person it because they've put the time in, they put the research in, you're obviously like enjoying what you're doing, you know, so you've got a lot more reason rather than someone else who's just like, you know, like, so, but you want to progress that professionalism. I'll start off with, hi, you know, hi there, show that I've done my research, try and get that through an email, and then I'll try and take the email to a video call or a phone call. I'll try and take the phone call to an in-person meeting or a drink. You know, try and make people become colleagues and friends, you know, then, because it's not what people say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So you want to know as many people as possible, but also you never know who's going where. So you have to treat everybody with that same level of respect and decency, you know, like whether it's a student, in 4 or 5 years, he might be A&R Island Records, you know what I mean? If it could be someone big over here, but it's not a relevant person for you now, but then they move to a different company. And everyone in the music industry, a lot of people go from job to job, from discipline to discipline. So like that's like the main things I talk about is developing your mind, your mindset, your professionalism, being personal, because that's what people want to work with people. So it's like if one person's great, but is it, and this guy's not quite as good, but is really nice to work with, I'm going to work with this guy every time. And I'll stop there because Manish has prepared some slides.
Yeah, we can carry on talking. I don't mind.
I could carry on all day. I think we're on a
So
time.
yeah, we didn't got to introduction. So yeah, welcome to a personal journey in artist development. Obviously, yes, and the importance. Obviously, going to go through the importance of mentorship and community and nurturing talent. And obviously, we look at why Leicester is obviously a unique hub for creativity and diversity. Leicester's a cool place. Some people feel like it's not on the map yet. I think low key it is. I think the people within it need to kind of build up together, different studios, infrastructures, collaboratively, collectives, you know, everyone needs to kind of team up, but obviously due to people obviously having different mindsets and views in the city, it's not always the case. Here at HQ, we obviously we encourage community. We encourage you to come to our events. We encourage you to DM us and ask us for advice. You know, it's just a message or a call away. Honestly, we really are. And obviously, Yasin said something good about, I think you had a quote about other studios opening and stuff. It's like, there's not a scene. What was that? What did you say?
Yeah, so someone said to me, so I've helped a few people set up like studios. And so say like Aaron from Artistry, he used to be an engineer here. And then when he went across the road, I sent my guy to go over and look at his studio, tell him what kit to buy. And Chavez, I helped him with his, like, this is what you need to do, how to do it. And someone's like, why are you gonna help set up your competition? And I'm like, well, it's not competition. It's like, if I'm the only studio and I'm fully booked and there's nowhere to send them, that's dead. Like, we need studios, we need labels, we need managers, we need a scene. You know, and the thing is, like, not everybody's gonna like HQ, not everybody's gonna like Manish, you know, like, you know, not even about like, it's about creative, collaborative, what works and what don't work. So we encourage people to work with as many different people as possible. Like even my artists and people who got keys to the building, I still say, well, work anywhere, work with other studios, other engineers, but you can't create a big community on your own. You can't build a whole scene on your own. So like, and if there's only one studio in Leicester, that's dead, you know. So for me, I want it to be 10, 20 studios. I want it to be 10, 20 labels, you know, and it to be much stronger. So yeah, it's not about competition for me. It's about collaboration. But even certain studios might not want to mess with us because they're treating us like competition. But that's fine, you know, like, and at various levels, especially when you're on the way up, you're always kind of looking at somebody to give you the cosign, somebody to give you the leg up, somebody to give you the springboard. Where really it's like, don't work like that. You have to get yourself to that level and be able to knock on the door yourself. And often if someone gives you the bring in or the cosign and it's not the right time, makes them look bad, you don't really get nothing out of it anyway. So it's easy to look at other people and be like, well, that's not fair. Well, they've got all that. Why is he getting all that money? Why is he getting all that funding? Why ain't he giving me the into this thing? But it's like, you realise the more and more you do it, it's like, oh, it don't work like that. You've just got to be consistent for years and years and years.
You're not entitled to anything. And I don't
You're
know,
not entitled.
And I don't know why I get it with so many musicians, rappers. They feel so entitled to, you know, oh yeah, just because you do this and this with this artist, or, you know, you're achieving this many streams here, how come that doesn't reflect on me? And I think it's supposed to reflect on yourself. You're supposed to make the effort, you know, make the discipline, you know, put the time in, put the effort in, you know, click with the right people, work with the right people, going back to showing respect, you know, showing love, I guess, in a sense, you'll get love shown back, you know. And
sometimes small things as well, you know, I have it sometimes where an artist will follow you, you don't follow them back, so they unfollow you, and then follow you again, unfollow you, that's probably not a good look, you know what I mean? Or someone's asking you for a favour and it's like, you don't even follow my stuff, you've never shared anything we've done, you don't come to my events, but now you're in my inbox asking me for favours or asking me to share your music, like, but we've not even connected on any level, do you know what I mean? So things like that, it's like, again,
build a foundation first, man.
Yeah,
before
build the
reaching
foundations.
out to them, maybe what you think is a stepping stone or a bigger person. Devin, a good example as well. You hit me up, we met through a mutual friend, we spoke a few times. Then that Devin then approached me to then obviously work. I actually said, you know what, I actually found someone better for you to work with. So it's not even me wanting to gobble up all the clients and make loads of money with everyone in the scene. It's like, oh, this person really suits your sound, bro. I think you should go with this engineer. So I think that's the most important thing. And like we said, other studios might not see it that way, how we see it. But yeah, I think that's the most important thing with your artistry as well, is finding who can build your brand, which I think I'm going to go into next. So yeah, defining your artistry, brand DNA. So we're gonna, like, who are you and what you stand for, you know? Sly and Esther, I know you love hip hop. I can tell anyway from how long I've known you guys and the music that you make. LVT, you're an R&B star. So I know that from your music. I know that how you perceive yourself on stage and when you perform. But for some people, sometimes I don't know what they do, what kind of music they make. You know, sometimes it's just good to define yourself, maybe through your branding as well. So we can look at Studio Wiz. He wears a mask and he doesn't show his face. You know, automatically I'm gonna think drill music because that's where it kind of originates from. In a sense, originates from hip hop. You know, people like MF Doom doesn't show their face. And obviously, what's cool with Wiz is that he wants to keep his privacy, but in his music, he kind of shows who he is. So it's like not important what he looks like; it's more important about how he sounds and what kind of he's got gritty rap bars against really soulful, kind of actually, in a sense, juxtaposition kind of beats. Like the beats are really happy and bouncy, but he's talking about crud. So it's like makes it exciting. It's kind of different, And then we look at Queen Mills. She uses her Jamaican heritage a lot in her branding and how she does her content, and she might not even actually put that into her music necessarily, but it might about the lingo she's speaking in it and slang she's talking as well. But she makes heavily a lot of drum and bass music, which she's popular for as well. So I think the style that you kind of bring out, whether you bring it in a live performance or your content, should also shine and reflect in your music as well. So I think that's really important for you guys to kind of take in. Also as well, not everyone's got money to make mad content or artwork, so budget-friendly tools, Canva, AI. I don't really work against it. I think it's great. It's helped me with artwork. Some of the artwork on the walls made from AI here, on the wall behind you. Some of it that I've put out recently has helped a lot, I think. I think it's going to help you guys as well, because not everyone here is doing full-time music in front of me. Not everyone has the access to do that, and not everyone has the access to pay for artwork and graphic designers and content creators, but there's enough technology around you. Your phone is enough, I think, personally. Wiz is a good example of that. He blew up on a viral song, and the only thing he did was switch his phone around, put his sunglasses on, and started rapping. The song went viral. He's now got 10 million streams on the song. And he just did that in his bedroom. So it really can start from anywhere, I think. I just wanted to go around to you guys. I don't know. I want to pick out anyone at random, if they don't mind. LVT, I might go for you first because I know you so well. Can you define your brand in 3 words, like who you are?
I would say relatable, fiery, and also stylish.
Sweet, I agree. Okay.
I want to know what your 3 words are.
My 3 words, cool, because my second name's Cooler, so we're gonna go with that. And it's in my name, which is bare cringy at the moment. But so cool. We're gonna go with cool, energetic, and fun. There we go.
So it ain't actually that easy. No,
it's not. That's why
it's
you
not
put me on the
easy.
spot. I was trying to put these on the spot.
Yeah.
What about you, Yas? What's your define your brand?
I can't do it in 3 words. I ain't gonna lie. No, 'cause my brand is obviously different brands as well, which is fine. My main brand is obviously HQ, which is the umbrella brand, but then it straddles so much stuff. We've got the community side, which is more about helping people, helping to do artist development, or helping to keep people mentally strong, or giving people a chance. Where the label is about the highest quality music that we can get, that we want to put out. Like the media is about media. Like it's all quite separate, but it's together. But for me, I don't think it's necessarily just about 3 words, but it's really good to get you thinking about really being short. And also thinking about being a brand, because if you're trying to reach out to someone in radio, and they don't know who you are, you need to be able to say to them, I'm kind of similar artist to and they always say 3 artists, 3 words, 3 artists, So it's kind of like, okay, I'm in the same lane as Diggity, this guy and this guy, or Pot of Paper, this, and then they know, okay, it's that style before they even have to click on it.
So when you're sending your press releases out, so making sure you're not saying you like these artists, but for the likes of, you might be for the likes of, we want Wraiths, Saint, just want to not compare yourself, but maybe compare what their fan base. So you might be making the same music that their fan base likes as well. So you're putting yourself in that lane, which also lets other people know, this is the artist that does this kind of music. Maybe I'll pair it up on this radio show, or I'll play it at this certain time on this kind of show. So obviously letting people know where you're sitting in your own lane and defining obviously your brand as well. Aligning yourself, I guess, with other artists that you might be influenced by, or that you follow.
Well, yeah, and within marketing and stuff, you're going to need that as well, because if you're going to be targeting audiences, they've got to be the right audiences that you're targeting. If you're a hip hop artist, there's no point only going to folk open mic nights. You know what I mean? Not to say don't go to them, but don't only go to them. But when you're putting them stuff that's another thing about AI that you can also use, and also with the internet now. Like you can Google anything now, or you can put it into AI. Give me a good example of a press release, or help me write a press release. You know, but to write a press release, you got to know who are you, who are you in a small paragraph. What's this song about? What's your brand about in a small paragraph? But when you reach out to people as well, ideally, and I know some of you will already have like electronic press kits, and I know some of you might not, but when you're reaching out to somebody, you want to be doing it in a way where they don't have to come back to you to ask you any questions, because you've got to make it, the bigger people are, the less time they've got, you know. So if you want to get, like, we ain't really here for back and forth. Oh yeah, that's nice. Well, I was about, oh, can you send me a link? Oh, can you send me a photo? Like, that's dead. No one's going to do that. It's got to be, okay, that's who they are. That's what they look like. There's the press shots. There's the song I can download. That's what's the song about. And I got everything in one hit. And sometimes these people won't even reply to you to tell you that you do just get an email. Oh yeah, we played you on the radio. Or oh yeah, you've been included in this blog. You know, like, so you gotta make stuff super easy for people.
Super accessible for sure.
Super accessible.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important parts. So obviously, if you don't know what EPK is, it's just, you know, like Yasin said, a photo, links to your music, links to social media. You know, you wanna have to go back and forth. Usually as well, what's great is having, what do they call it at the bottom? It's not an email signature, but you can have your information kind of embedded in your email as well, which is really useful. It's a footer, yeah. Oh, well, great. Sorry, thanks, Russell.
Russell knows everything.
Yeah, Russell does know everything. He's a wise guy. But yeah, that's super important, because you could it can embed it in every email that you send as well, which I do. At the bottom of my email will be my number, links to my work, kind of easy accessible. So, you know, so if I send a message to a client or an artist that I want to work with, then to contact me straight away. You know, they might have to. Some people don't like dealing with emails as well. So
no, and this is all about. I know this is the artist development, and we're talking about artistry. But again, it's all important, because you've got to develop those things as well, because otherwise people might not get to hear your development or see your development, you know. And it's like, sometimes I've been sent something and it's a link and I click on it and the link don't work. And it's even things like that. Make sure even your links are accessible. It can't be like an Apple Music link. Well, I ain't on Apple Music. It's got to be something that's free, like either YouTube or a drop, ideally something that can just click. And even when you're reaching out to people, if you do your research, a lot of people tell you the way they want you to reach out. Certain DJs say send a free 20 MP3. Yeah. Some people are like, only senders a click on link to SoundCloud. But again, when you do your research, and it's like you should be doing research into yourselves, research into your scene, into the communities you want to be part of. And then, okay, well, now you've done this, okay, well now let's put the research into how can we exploit this to the best potential. And I think the biggest thing that most artists do is they put something out one day and it's like it didn't happen the next day. Where you've got certain people who are pushing a song for 6, 7, 8 months, you know what I mean? It's not old, you're not spamming people, it's only like probably 0. I don't know, there's a tiny percentage of people across all your platforms that will see your stuff if you share it once. You know, so you've got to be able to like share it over multiple platforms in multiple ways over a bigger period of time, you know, because it might take, I don't know, it could be months, years later before the right person hears it and something happens. Like we had a song here that Lloyd Luther did, and we knew it was a banger. I knew the whole EP was, the whole album was great, and it was, but we knew, you know, like it's a small rapper in Leicester with not a massive budget, ain't gonna do that much. It sat there doing nothing on Spotify for 7 years, and then Drake's team called him and they used it in Top Boy, changed his life overnight. Some artists would have already deleted that because, oh well, no one's got no views on it. I've got a bit better now.
Super important, portfolio. Man. Super important. I think artists do that a lot. They delete all their old work and then they start fresh again, hoping that the algorithm will be different this time or something else will change. But I thought, unless it's a full rebrand, I understand. But honestly, that you can't show your growth in your music without having some of the old stuff back on there. I've been tempted to go back and delete the old stuff, but I think, you know what? This shows the kind of music I was making then and kind of what I'm turning into now.
Yeah, it shows the journey, Russell, the evolution of your brand.
Okay, Russell wanted to say something.
I was just going to say, another great tool you might or may not know about called Linktree.
Yeah, that's really good.
So you can put that in your Instagram, and you can then put your own things you want, and you can play around with the content. So your latest release, you can put at the top, right?
Yeah, of course.
Instead of your old stuff though. So it's really good. It gives you the opportunity to present your portfolio the way you want to present it. So
My-
what's that called? Linktree.
Linktree.
I think it's
Free as well.
It is free. Well, what some people are doing is now, like what we did, like another thing that people don't necessarily tell you as artists when you're starting out is, you know, make sure your name is unique, you know, so you don't want to release a song, it goes on Spotify and then you're like, oh, 17, there's 17 big Yasses and now it's gone to the wrong one and I've got to reclaim
which
it and
happens
move
quite
it.
a lot, I think.
So, you know, like not only like make sure it's unique, because you want your brand to be unique, but also I've got to check TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, get all my handles. You might not be ready for your website yet, but maybe you should go on there and buy the .co.uk and the .com. And then like Russell actually did that for us. It was like, oh, why don't you get that? And then you know what, we ain't ready to build the site yet. We'll put a link tree on it. You know, so it's, but the long term thing of that is you've got your own thing, your own SEO, you know, you've got all your things in one place, you know, which is as you're developing, what you don't want to do is develop this brand. You've developed your artistry, you've developed your brand, then you realise actually this someone else has got all the handles to this, and now I've got a different name on every different one. This one's official, this one's unofficial, this one's, you know, and there's loads of different variants, you know, where I want to say, right, yeah, I've got at HQ Recording. You just search that in and it will come up with every single platform, and it'll also stop someone else who's not us having our handle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just off the service there, if anyone wants to help on that stuff, I've done lots of work around an old man now, been around a long time in the web stuff. So buy your domains, cost you 25 quid, 50 quid to own it. Do that first before you put anything else out, because that is going to be the way that people find you. And if you want to go one stage further, buy your trademark for your name. If you've got a unique name you're using as your brand, it's 50 quid. It's that cheap, relatively speaking, right? You own that thing. No one else can plagiarise your work. It's that easy. Again, drop me a line.
All right, you're gonna get a load of messages later.
Yeah, I didn't even know that for real.
I think actually,
Right, we're gonna go through these
yeah, we'll
quick
have to
now.
scan through it. So developing your sound and story. So the power of storytelling in music is super strong. I think it's important just to be relatable. What LVT said, if you can relate to everyday things, you know, I'm not gonna rap about Bentleys and stuff. I don't have them. So I think it's super important. It's super important if you can relate to the music and you can connect with it as well, especially for your fans. Let's look at two colleagues and good friends of mine. So Morgan Moreau, she uses R&B to craft relatable narratives. So stuff about her love life, stuff that's actually happened to her, is pretty much what she kind of portrays in her music. Jafro is a really good example. He obviously fuses grime with conscious lyricism, which is weird because obviously grime has obviously come from a lot of like, you know, street rap and, you know, as man say, the roads and stuff like that. But he kind of makes it a bit conscious. He talks about God, he talks about his feelings, how he feels about his life and what's kind of going on around him. So I think developing that into your brand will then people to kind of get a view of you and not perceive you as, you know, fake it till you make it, or, you know, just want to really be able to contact and connect with you in that sense. I think it's really important. Chantel's a good example of that. You know, the kind of content she does is very engaging, but it also kind of shows her personality in her life as well. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the music as well. So
yeah, but your fans want to come on a journey with you, you know. So they want to know like what music do you listen to, like what are you about. They want to know that you're kind of aligned to the same types of stuff, you know, like because again it's about people and people like people, so people will look up to you. They want to know what you're about and what's your community.
Yeah, so another role of ours in development obviously is helping artists hone their unique sound. So getting an artist, sitting with them, discussing with them, where do you want to go, what kind of sound do you want to define, and even understanding, even getting to the point where we first took on Studio Wiz, I didn't really understand the kind of music he was making because I'm like 10 years older than him. So, you know, he's already got some viral success coming. So I'm having to then dive into his world, listen to the music that he's making, listen to like a lot of the artists that he's messing with, which necessarily I weren't really messing with, and probably Yasin didn't even know about before. But now obviously working with someone younger opens our eyes up as well to, you know, we're not too old to obviously make music for younger people as well, but obviously also helps us connect with that fan base, that level of work that we need to kind of achieve for maybe that demographic as well. And also finding and working with the right producers. For example, I'm not going to put Sly and Esther with someone who makes acoustic music or folk music, for example. I'm not going to put LVT with someone that makes reggae, for example. I'm going to try to team up people with people for the music that they make. So I think that's super important. Going back to artistry obviously just isn't yourself. Sometimes it's the team and the people that you're picking around you, whether that's your producers or, you know, even just, I think, choice and style and sound, to be honest.
Yeah, musicians as well. Like working with a producer in a room is great, but then as soon as you add a guitarist, it levels up. You add a keys player, it levels up. But you've also now got a lot of people. You're all bouncing creativity off each other. You're all learning from each other. I think developing your artistry, one of the main things you're going to get that from is working with loads of different musicians and producers, because you're always learning from each other. You're adding flavor to each other's sounds, you know, like, and it feels better. It just feels more creative, more exciting. Generally, the music that comes out the other end is going to be better, you know, and then it means you've also got the potential then to do live versions of it, band versions, acoustic versions of the same songs. But it means, again, like, you might not know what your sound is, like, and people's sound will change. So but you're only going to find that out by, especially in the beginning, you know, like, this is when you can try everything. I'm going to try reggae, I'm going to try house music, I'm going to try drum and bass, which one feels right? And then it'll be like, so one of them you're probably going to evolve into, and that's going to be your main sound. But then it might have elements of others, but that's what you really want to be. You know, it can be lonely as well as an artist or a musician if you're not collaborating with people, but there's always people out there willing to collaborate. So trying to collaborate with as many people as possible.
So building a local presence, I'm going to guess everyone's from Leicester, right? Or at least stays here or lives here. So leverage your community and grassroots opportunities. So open mic nights, me and Yasin, I've been doing them for years, right? You know, working with local brands and events venues like Leicester Carnival, Brewbeat and Too Funky Music Cafe. So Too Funky's a great one as well. From when I was a kid, you know, VJ was holding like workshops in the back of his record store for young producers to kind of build up, you know, their artistry and just learn how to use software. And obviously we didn't have software and Macs at home, so opportunities at any point for funding things like Project Live, for example. You know, a few of us have been on it in here as well, to kind of build your artistry, but also on stage as well. Working with a live band is super important. You know, you're bringing your music to that next level. Creating meaningful connections with fans and local community. So going back to what me and Yasin said, you know, getting in touch with people, but obviously taking some time out and effort to actually understand what they do in their lives before kind of pitching yourself and promoting yourself towards them. Yeah, we love our open mic nights. I found so much talent through them. You know, that's how I met you, Lynette, as well, through Joey's open mic nights. And it's crazy because then you realize, you know, people come out the woodwork because you're providing an opportunity and a stage, but it's up to you as an artist as well. Like, don't feel like open mic nights are beneath you, because we've had people before, oh, yeah, I'm not going to go to open mic night, why should I go to one of them? But, you know, it's practice, it's good, man. You connect with people, you enjoy other people's music. Like, I think it's stupid if you don't go to open mic nights. I think they're the best place to practice your content, your new stuff, your old stuff, to gain confidence, to build connections, to build fans, and just build your artistry in general.
Yeah, and to find those people to collaborate with. The amount of people that start rappers like, oh, she's sick, you know, and it's, well, like, she's a folk singer, he's a rapper, but now they're on a track together because he just likes that thing, or a guitarist, let's put them together. You know, so that, again, that's where you're going to meet people, you know, like, everybody needs to know people, and everybody, you go to places, you know what, even if you've got no one to go with, if you go on your own, you're going to be forced to talk to people. You know, so it's kind of like you have to network then. You go with your little crew, you're going to stay in your little gang, and you probably ain't even going to talk to that many people. So don't be scared to go places on your own, you know, like, in fact, you probably have to go some places on your own, because everyone's not going to necessarily want to spend money to go to all these different things with you. Your first time you perform, everyone are going to come out and support. Your 15th time, none of them are going to come because they've seen you set bare times, you know, and it's a lot of time and effort, you know, so be prepared to just go there, do it regardless, you know what I mean?
Sweet, next one. So marketing, promotion, a lot of things that we all lack on it, I guess, in a sense. Even myself, but even maybe you guys might be feeling some of this stuff. So I'm not going to tell you go on TikTok and make a dance to your music, and don't think of TikTok as a negative thing. Don't think of it, oh yeah, it's this app that, you know, everyone's on and we've got to do little cringy dance moves and stuff. No, it's just an app that people are consuming music through. See it like that. Don't see it as I have to make cringy things and that's the way my music's going to go. No, just be relatable and be real on it, you know. It's actually, TikTok's actually kind of cooler than Instagram, where Instagram's like, you know, everything's a bit more chiseled and everything's a bit more thought out, where TikTok's like, you know what, this is some, you know, rags content, I'm just going to film on my phone, I'm going to put it on there. And that helps you really define your artistry as well. Don't forget, TikTok actually like you knowing that you've used your video from your phone. They don't care about 4K stuff unless, you know, you might be a bit more of a, you know, established artist. You might be doing a bit more to do with your branding and stuff. So things got to be a bit more cleaner. But if you're just at, you're just at the start, you're just at the grassroots level, there's nothing wrong with it, man. You don't have to have big Sony cameras, no offense, guys, obviously, to obviously do your thing. So it's really useful, man. Honestly, short form content is where it's at. I believe music videos are kind of dying out in a sense if you've not got a major backing you sometimes as well. But earlier, I think someone mentioned behind the scenes content. People love being relatable. You're posting a picture of your artwork, you're going to get 10 likes. Post a picture of the journey of the studio, what you did, you're going to get probably more views, more interactions, more comments. Every time I put artwork out, no one cares. But if I put a video of me in the studio and this is how I made the beat and so on, I might have a little mic or I might do a voiceover. It seems like I'm connecting more with a lot more people. Obviously, I'm from a producer scene, so a lot of producers will reach out to me because they see a certain software or plugin that I'm using. You guys might be, might be the certain style that you're making. It might be how you're making the song as well. So Yasin could help me with this one. Basics of running targeted ads to reach local and niche audiences.
And again, that's not what it says, like if you use Spotify, it will tell you where your fans are, it'll give you the demographics of them. Same about like knowing what sort of age ranges you want, what kind of targeted stuff, so there's, because you can get big numbers just chucking a really broad ad out, but it's a waste of time if it's just thousands of random people or bots in India or whatever, where it could be, okay, well, it's like if I've got an event in Leicester, I'm only going to put that on for Leicester and a 10-mile radius, like that kind of stuff. But the thing with that sort of stuff is as well, you can get other people who can tell you. Google will have a phone call with you and talk you through it. There's always someone who will tell you that stuff. And that's the other thing, like ask questions, especially from people who've already been there and done it.
Yeah, for real. For example, a good one of targeted ads, I've got a guy that makes Punjabi music and we got a heavy, obviously in India, he targeted ads towards India, targeted ads towards Canada, and he's seen the rise in his streams and his followers. So, for example, if I made an Afrobeat tune, I might target Nigeria, for example. I might say, let's get some listeners from here. Why not? Let's see if it can help me in any way. Organic growth through collaborations with Leicester-based influencers. Not everyone's an influencer. In a sense, you all are yourself. You're all promoting and pushing your own content. You're making videos. You're smiling towards the camera. You're trying to push something. So I think collaborating with people like that will always help. And these people necessarily don't always make music as well. Influencers don't have to always be influencers. I think, what would be better if I actually rephrase that? I think content creators, they're the better people to work with. And these content creators can also help you make your content, design your thing, and you can also help push their brand as well. For example, Pinboard Media in the back, they're content creators. They do stuff for Harry. And obviously that's then led them to get more work because we've seen Harry's stuff. We like Harry's music. Then Yas is like, oh, this is great. The turnaround time's great. It looks great. I'm going to hit them up to then do something like this. And building relationships, radio stations, going to VJ, shaking his hand, actually speaking to him, getting to know what he does as well. Same with Yasin, building meaningful connections, meaning that you get invited to more things, Devon, good example as well. We pretty much already spoke a couple of weeks ago, and now Devon's came to a few events. He's learning a lot more. He's about to release his music. He's working with one of our engineers as well, and it's just kind of helping him kind of upskill and make himself a bit more known in the local community, which obviously some people don't realise there is a scene here. We do exchange numbers, we do talk. There are group chats we are in, we kind of trying to build our own thing.
Don't add me to no group chat.
Yeah, Yasin left the group chat. He's like, why am I in this? I'm going to go. But let's go to the next one. So yeah, because we're running out of time, I'd just love to see if,
what we'll do, because everything's about to run out. We'll do that a little bit more informal, but I just want to say to you all, you got to look at everything as like ecosystems. There's a radio ecosystem, there's a streaming the playlist ecosystem, there's a blog ecosystem, there's an events ecosystem, and we all start out on the bottom, looking at the top, and we want the top, but you're not actually ready for the top yet anyway. So you want to be focusing on the smallest parts of the ecosystem first, while you're finding your route. You're starting off with community radio, you're starting off with the free blog or the student journalist, you're the guy who'll do your video for free, and then as you work your way up, now you're going to go to BBC Introducing, then you're going to go to, or then you're going to go to the one extra, then you're going to go to 1 and 2, but that might take 10, 15 years. It's a long journey, but all that time you're getting better and better. And if you go up too quick and you've not got the development and the backup and the catalogue and your repertoire, it's going to come unstuck anyway. So you can take that time, like in this beginning period, to enjoy it, try as much stuff as possible, work with as many people as possible. try everything you can think of. But also, while you're doing that, like give yourself positive reinforcement. Like don't get too knocked back every time something happens. And also put your music out. Like it takes most people 20, 30 songs before they're getting noticed. Don't have to be perfect. Just put it out. Like perform as much as you can. Like and put yourself out there. And consistency is is the number one thing. Being consistent and authentic. Like. So you do that for long enough, people will pay attention, you'll get better and better, and when the right time, the right place, you'll get your break, you know what I mean? So, and if you don't get it, don't worry about it. Like they said before, it's resilience, shit happens, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to be easy, otherwise everybody would do it, you know what I mean? But you've got to stay confident, not arrogant, but confident, like, I'm gonna do this is where I'm going, I'm gonna, like, strong and powerful, but not cocky, like, yeah, I'm better than all of you, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with being like, yeah, I'm going to be the best, or I'm aiming for the pyramid stage, but having those goals, whatever they are, and working towards them every day, or whatever's manageable, you know what I mean? So that's what I would like end on, really, is just be like, just treat yourself well, don't take it too seriously, but obviously it's serious, you know what I mean? But make sure you enjoy it. Because when you get to where you're going, it might not be as enjoyable as you think it is. So you've got to enjoy the journey, enjoy the relationships, enjoy the events. And yeah, like, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, I think I released my first official single through HQ with Yasin when I was about 21. But I didn't see any commercial success until I was 27, so that's 4 years ago. And then I went full-time music thanks to Yasin. So, it does take a while. It does take a while to get to that point where you can just do nothing but music. And obviously, if you're not in it for the long run, then obviously you have to be in it for the long run. It's going to be a journey. Some of you might have started at the same time I did. Some of you might have just started last week. But honestly, like if you stick to it, you will see an outcome eventually for sure.
We ran massively over.
Yes,
anyway.
yeah. But yeah, look, there are emails. Take them down if you want to contact us. Send us any demos, message us, talk to us. Open mic as usual. Everyone knows 28th of November. Roll through.
Well, thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed the day. Thanks to VJ and to Funker for making this all happen, and thanks to the Arts Council for making it possible.
And thank you all for coming and attending. So give yourself a round of applause, man.